Hey Mission Church, Alex Bryjek here with a few familiar faces because we are excited to share something with you as we head into Holy Week. We are inviting our entire church to watch, pray, and fast. And so from Monday, April 13th until Saturday, April 19th, we are going to go on this journey together. And so what that's going to look like is every night at 5 p.m., we are going to post a video devotional for you to watch. And then we are inviting you to pray about what your fast the following day is going to look like. That could be from screens or from food, and then how long would be either 8 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours. So one day that might be 8 hours from your screen, and then the next day it might be 24 hours from food. Whichever journey you choose, our hope in our prayer is that this would deepen your dependency on the Spirit. John, I'd love to hear from you just a little bit more about what fasting looks like and why we do it.
Yeah, watch, pray, fast. So watch, you're like, yeah, I'll watch. Pray, you're like, fast, I'm out, right? Because we, as Chicagoans, are feasters. We're not fasters typically. And yet, one of the most catalytic spiritual practices is fasting. And researchers have said it's actually the least practiced spiritual practice among American Christians. And so I would say that's been true in my life. So I'll just be honest here. It has been one of the least practiced things in my life. And yet God has been speaking to me about this. He's been speaking to our staff about this. As we've been learning as a church to persist in prayer, well, fasting comes right alongside of that. And so we're going to fast, and we're going to experience Holy Week in a way that I think is going to be really powerful, not just for the adults, but for everybody, kids, students, adults. And so this fasting thing is something that is really a big thing throughout the Bible. Fasting is not a minor practice, it's a major practice. It begins in the book of Exodus with Moses, and we see all the giants of the faith, so to speak. They all practiced fasting. They chose to give up food. They chose to give up something really, really important. And as they did, that creates a hunger and a thirst to connect with God in a powerful way. And so we're going to fast. So we're going to do this, and we're going to choose how we're going to do this, food or screens, and for how long. And my heart is that it will truly help you find and follow Christ. That's what we're about. And I just think that's going to happen throughout this Holy Week. Jess and Derek, I think it'd be great if you guys could talk to the parents, because this is going to be like a really important conversation each night with students and kids of how families can do this together. So maybe, Jess, you start with talking to our parents for their kids and what this can look like. Give us some pro tips on that.
Yeah, so parents, I think it's really important that we start off with explaining fasting in a kid-friendly way. And you can say something like, fasting is choosing to give up something or choosing to stop a behavior so that we can focus our eyes and our ears and our heart on God and growing our relationship with God. And so making this practical, hey, tomorrow morning, we are going to choose to fast from our screens. So let's keep those iPads and those phones tucked away so that we can focus on God by listening to worship music. And then I'll ask a question. And the question could be framed up like, that song talked about God being our helper. How have you been helped lately? And how can you help someone today? And what I love about this approach is it's about substitution and not always subtraction. In my experience as being a mom, I have learned as I give my kids something to turn to, they are more encouraged to turn from, right? It's about substitution, not necessarily subtraction, right? And so as you're moving forward with this with your children, you'll see the hours of 8, 12, and 24. But my advice is to start with a moment of the day. And in my example, I started with breakfast. That was my start time and my stop time. And start there. And the first couple days, you're going to hear some complaining, some bargaining, which is natural. We hear it all the time. But just keep on committing. And we know that kids work best in routine, and the repetition will bring reward without a doubt.
That's so good. And it's just important for us to keep this, I think, like we're going to experiment with this as a family. Yeah. Let's do this together. Let's try this. Let's really try this together. Derek, what do you think as far as with students and the ways that parents can be thinking about that?
Yeah, I think this is a tremendous opportunity to engage your students in a really important step in their own discipleship journey. See, these students are part of a truly unique generation that has been marked by spiritual hunger and an experiential curiosity and an incredibly high value in authenticity. They are raised in an age of algorithms and pop-ups and short form content. And so they crave real. And so the best way to engage students in this fast is to really treat them like the little adults in training that they are. They are ready to take steps, and they are already wrestling with faith. And what does it mean to be a young Christian in the first post-Christian era? And so be creative in how you engage them. Really reinforce for them that this fast is an opportunity to grow our dependency and our trust in God, and really engage with them the why behind it and what are their reasons and what could be difficult about this fast. And be real about it is going to be difficult, and what is difficult about it, and what would be a difficult option to give up or to substitute from during this time. Because deep down, these students are ready to find their own why. They are truly hungry to take a step, but parents, they need to see and hear your why first. And so as you're making your own choices for this fast, really explain to them what your reasons are, and then show them why it's so important and how to make that decision. Because really, for some of these students, giving up food might be the easy option when compared to something like social media or gaming. But however they lean, whatever choices that they are leaning towards, invite them into this process and guide them through that decision. And I truly believe that they will experience something transformational.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said earlier, our hope and our prayer is really that this would just deepen your dependency on the Spirit. We're really excited to get to do this as an entire church family. We'll see you here on Sunday for our first video for you to prepare for day 1. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.